Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 187 of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind. This one titled New Vegas DLCs Part 2. Yeah, the gap between the two episodes weren't as big as I thought. I just finished them during the week. Okay, a few things first. My drink today is non-alcoholic malt beverage, lemon flavored. Now, there might be some changes in that regard depending on how things go in the coming week, but there is a chance I might have to limit sodas and sugary drinks. I went to a dietitian, so yeah, I might get thin and hot. It's a joke. But anyways, yeah, I might have to limit them. But right now, still don't have to. Let me take a sip though. That's what I usually do. I just took a sip before I started recording, so I kind of forgot. I usually take a sip during the show. Let me. Oh god, that's good. Like, cold carbonated drinks are just something else, man. The second thing is, I was a guest. You know, that thing I used to be a lot more, but I am, again, a guest. um, Before Novels happened, I was a guest on on an episode of the show Criterion Now, where I talked about Iranian and world cinema, most concentrated on Abbas Kiarostami and Iranian cinema. But yeah, if you are on YouTube, there will be a card at the end of the episode, and if I remember, there is also gonna be one of those exclamation points right now showing you the video. But if you are on any other platform, there is a link in the description that you can go and watch. And yes, there is a video recording if you want to look at my face as well as hearing my voice. I don't know why you would, but you know, maybe you're intrigued. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Anyways, yes, I was a guest and it came out actually last week, but I didn't know that yet, so couldn't put it in the last episode. But speaking of Fallout New Vegas DLCs, let's get right into it because Honest Hearts and Lonesome Road were the two last ones where I needed to talk about. Now, Honest Hearts is, in my opinion, the worst one of the bunch. Okay, a few things though. Last week I said a little bit about how I'm on autopilot mode, and I'm just going through the quests, looking at the quest marker more than I'm looking at the environment around me, and that stayed true. And while I was playing it, I got a feeling similar to when I played Skyrim and I had filler cave quests. Now, if you're a fan of, I'm a fan of Skyrim. Let me just say that. I fucking love that game. It is one of my favorite games of all time, alongside Fallout New Vegas. I know, not a lot of ground that those to cover, but you know. And there are so many amazing quests in Skyrim, so many amazing moments, but there are an abundance of filler cave quests. Quests that are basically, you go to a city or town, and each, well, to quote the amazing song It Just Woke, every vagabond to put you to the test. Because they do, everyone just has a quest for you. Do this, do that, do that. There's so much that Skyrim has a side quests panel, and that one gets filled really easily. Most of them amount to go to this cave, kill a bunch of draggers, pick up X, and return to the person. There isn't really that much of a challenge in them, they aren't really that fun, and there's a ton of them. So what you usually do, and they get dumped on when they get dumped on you, is you batch them. Basically, you go to a new town, you talk to everyone and gather all of the quests. Then you go to the next town, talk to everyone, and gather all of the quests. Then the next town, until you're like have all of the quests around in Riften and around Riften, for example. And then you batch them based on location. You're like, okay, so these ones want me to stay in the region, but these ones want me to go to the other region. So I'm gonna keep them, and when I go to the other region, I'm gonna do them. But these one that need me to stay in the region, I go and do them. And you look at the quest marker, you go in, it's a cave, so it's not gonna be that interesting. So you go in, you kill a few dragons, you do the quest, but you don't turn it in. You keep it. And because there are those quests that are on the other region. So you do the quest, you're done, you move on to the next region, you gather all of the quests. There are some that overlap with the quests that you needed to do already, so that's even better. You do all of them, and for a quest that is much more interesting, you return to Riften, for example, and you're like, oh yeah, while I'm here, let me turn in the quests. That is the autopilot mode. That is not a very good feeling, nor a very good experience when you're playing a game. It's basically, again, busy work, It's a chore. You do these things because, you have a quest, and maybe you're like me, you have a completionist vein, or you have OCD, and you just want to do them. So you go on and do them a lot. And gather all of these quests and turn them in. The reward is negligible because it wasn't that good to begin with. You probably will sell whatever unique thing you got from there. The story isn't very good because you don't care about these side quests, and generally you just had spent like an hour or two doing busy work. Fallout New Vegas Honest Hearts is a DLC of that. And I fucking hate it. Now, there are things I don't hate about it. Let me just tell you the good stuff about Honest Hearts. First of all, one of the greatest tutorials that you're walking down this valley, and I don't remember the name of the guy. I know there is chalk in the name. We'll get to the Native American aspect pretty soon, but yeah. You're walking down, and he is telling you about all of these new things that you need to be careful about, Yao guys and all of that. And it's a great sequence. It's an amazing sequence. Like, the fact that he doesn't interrupt you with dialogue and just says it and you can hear it, it's great. There's also Zion Valley itself, which granted isn't too exciting, but it is beautiful, like genuinely beautiful and looks good. But okay, here's another problem. It's populated entirely with incredibly barren shit. There are campgrounds and stuff like that, and there's nothing in them. And so there isn't really a joy of exploration unless, again, you want to explore every single point in the map, like I do. Otherwise, it's nothing. It genuinely is nothing. Why would you do that? It's boring. It's stupid. And I hated it. But, it looks cool, it looks interesting, it looks different than New Vegas, but there is no reason to go into it. And then you get to the story. Honest Hearts has the weirdest and weakest story of the bunch, because you either care about the religious aspect, which I don't, or you have nothing to go on about. And then there is the Native American aspect that makes me very uneasy. In my idea, in my head, in my opinion and in my head, Fallout New Vegas is a Western. It has a lot of Western aesthetics, it has a Western story, one man against the system, and you actively play a cowboy without a horse. But yeah, it has a very Western feel to it. And then Honest Hearts looks like they were trying to add their own Native Americans, like all Western movies do. And much like them, it is incredibly insensitive. Like the fact that they speak broken English, they, even though they're supposed to be Americans, like from the same region, okay, it's just weird, you know? And they believe in these things that are supposed to be like this father in the cave, which is a great side story, by the way. Oh, another thing, great side story. You wouldn't know a thing about it unless you go and look for it. It's not told to you organically. But they believe in these outlandish things, and it feels like the game is saying that if you believe in these outlandish things, even when you're removed by time, you will speak like Native Americans and have Native American names and Native American tribe iconography. And it is unnerving. But none of these would be so noticeable if the story was good. And it's not. Joshua Graham isn't that interesting. He has an interesting story before he gets to the Zion Valley, but he isn't that interesting in and of himself. He needs to have a motivation, and that motivation needs to be well told. But yeah, that's Honest Thoughts. I it took me 2 days, 3 days to finish it, and I was bored through most of it. Then we get to Lonesome Road. I deliberately kept that last. I knew I didn't play them in the right order. I played Old World Blues, then Dead Money, then Honest Hearts, then Lonesome Road. But I knew Lonesome Road was the end, so I kept that for the end. Lonesome Road is a really good DLC. Like, generally, it's good. The Divide is an interesting concept and an interesting location, and it is incredibly linear, but I actually think that is a good thing. New Vegas opens up a lot of things, it opens up instantly when you play the game. And that's a good thing. It gives you motivation to go and do different things and explore the world in your own way and your own speed. But at the same time, because of that, it lacks moments of surprise or moments of directionality, like you're going towards something, because nature of the game. But Lonesome Road has both of them. One of the things I remember is I went into a caravan that was on the Divide. I went in and then I heard something, went out, and there's a deathclaw on the roof. That never happens in New Vegas. And the sound and the jot I got, I fucking loved it. Now, it has a lot of content in it. There's, as I said, lots of deathclaws to kill, which at this point, I mini nuked a couple of them. Then there is the tunnelers, which I think is an interesting concept. I wish to know more, or there was a way to stop them. Maybe there is, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, and they genuinely did make me jump a few times because they came from the ground. And there's the marked men, which, again, it's also interesting. Quite interesting. QI. Haven't seen it though. I want to see it. Quite interesting. It's a long show, and I watch a lot of British shows, but this one is fucking long. Long time running, I mean, not that each episode is long. But yeah. There are two new enemy types, tunnelers and markedmen, which are interesting. Markedmen are ghouls. There's one new enemy type, tunnelers. And there is the warheads that you can explode all throughout there, which kind of funny if you ask me, that you walk into a nuclear fallout just bombing shit. But yeah, I found it interesting, and there is a thing. Um, it's not a perfect DLC because the main story, the main character that you're going to see, Ulysses, is an edgelord. It's a fucking edgelord, and it can be annoying. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, it's annoying, and it is, but at the same time, it's quite funny. Like when I realized that what Ulysses is saying is genuine, just edgelord shit, I had the time of my life. I started taking him seriously because, oh, they're all the same. There's always gonna be death. There is all, oh, it's not a phase, mom. And sorry. And I just found it funny. I just laughed my ass off. And I know and I understand if not everyone were into that, but honestly, I found it funny. There is another problem though, and this is where I understand why people didn't like it. All of the four DLCs of Fallout New Vegas are leading to Lonesome Road. Ulysses is dropped in Dead Money, in Old World Blues, Honest Hearts, all of them. There are mentions of him. There's always a finger pointing at Lonesome Road and at the end of Lonesome Road, because Lonesome Road is genuinely one long road that you go to get to him. And at the end of it, at the end of all of these hours of DLC and all of these fun that you had in Old World Blues, all of this atmosphere and feel you had in Dead Money, and all of the shit you had in Honest Hearts, it's just a bomb that you have to stop him from detonating. That's it. And when that happened, I felt empty. I felt like, is that it? It's not that I didn't enjoy the journey. Just when I reached the destination, I wondered if I needed to reach that destination. I looked at it and I looked at it and I was like, there is more, right? There should be more. But nope, that was all. It was a giant atom bomb. And after it was finished, it was finished. It felt empty. Like, is that all? And it's a shame because Lonesome Road isn't that bad on its own. As I said, Ulysses is a giant edgelord and you can have fun with that. And I loved EDE. Like, I genuinely felt good listening to his audio logs and following that subplot. I fucking love that. But here's the thing. Everything was leading up to this. And that's the problem. I think the New Vegas DLCs, in general, we had some highs. Dead Money and Lonesome Road were great. Old World Blues and Honest Hearts weren't. But they were all leading up to one guy sitting in front of a nuke and you having to convince him or kill him to stop him from detonating it. I don't think that's a satisfying ending. I don't think that's going to be very satisfying. I think it's generally bad. And Lonesome Road would be good if it wasn't a culmination of 4 DLCs. But as it is, it just feels a little bit empty. The good things are still there. I genuinely suggest playing it, but just know that you probably won't like how it ends. And that's it. That's the last of New Vegas DLCs. Now I need to find a new game to talk about next week. Probably Fallen Aces, because I got that. I played 20 minutes to an hour and I fucking love that. Really fun. Really enjoyable. Yes, so if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Tell me what is your favorite New Vegas DLC. If you're on any other platform, you can email me. If you're on Spotify or Castbox, you can comment there because I have those apps. Don't forget to check the link in the description. See me on Criterion Now. and I will see you all next week.